Yo, growing a business is kind of tricky right now. Supply chains are squeezed, tariffs and trade policies are dynamic, and cash flow, it's tighter than ever. You need clarity to come out on top. Without it, you risk falling behind. If only you could hop in the DeLorean and see the future, right? Thankfully, there's NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite has real-time forecasting to help you move ahead with confidence. This is your AI-powered business management suite and the #1 cloud ERP. Trusted by over 42,000 businesses, NetSuite brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all under one roof. It's your single source of truth, giving you the data and control you need to move quickly. And with AI built in, you can automate the busy work and focus on strategy. NetSuite helps you see what's stuck, what it's costing you, and how to pivot fast. If I were running a business with a lot of moving parts, I'd use NetSuite for full control over everything. Tame the chaos with NetSuite. If your revenues are at least in 7 figures, download the free ebook, Navigating Global Trade, 3 Insights for Leaders at netsuite.com/SPI. That's netsuite.com/SPI. Hey, I get it. You've worked really hard to build up your business, and it's doing great. So great that you need help now. The most important thing for your business is to hire the right people to support it. So how can you find amazing candidates quickly? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you stand out and hire fast. And with Sponsored Jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. And it makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, Sponsored Jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. And it's one of the largest databases of job seekers, too, giving business owners access to a wide range of candidates. And one of the things I love most about Indeed is the job alerts feature. I get notified when new candidates apply. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/smartpassive. Just go to Indeed.com/smartpassive right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/smartpassive. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring Indeed is all you need. The perfect product launch. It's the goal for every brand marketer. High heat, fast sellout, and fans posting recipes like trophies. What do Sydney Sweeney's soap drop, Taylor Swift's tickets, and your next launch have in common? Well, they're not bought, they're bragged about. Fanfare turns your drop into a moment. Fanfare cues real fans, blocks bots, and builds launch experiences worth screenshotting. Want hype without the heartbreak? Get Fanfare's 5-step hype drop playbook with our proven success formula and make your next launch unforgettable at fanfare.io/playbook. Again, fanfare.io/playbook. I remember when I was in high school, and just to paint a picture for you, I was the shortest kid in my grade. Even my junior year of high school, I wasn't past 5 feet tall, and I barely passed 5 feet tall my senior year of high school. I had a growth spurt my sophomore year of college. But going back to high school, unfortunately, a lot of my friends like to play basketball. And if you know anything about basketball, the taller you are, the bigger the advantage is. Now, I did play with them because they were my friends, but I hardly got past the ball. When I had the ball, I would take shots, and because I never got a lot of practice, I would never make it. So, I was always last picked and that sort of thing. But I'll tell you, when we played soccer in PE, or for those of you across the pond, football is what you call it, I was the star. I was slippery, I was fast, and because I was small, I had the advantage. I was quick. And so today on the show, I want to talk about the benefits of being quick, not as an athlete or somebody playing sports, but as an online business owner. Why being small can be an advantage for you. And by being small, I mean you're just starting out, you're entering a space that's very crowded. You might ask yourself, what am I even doing here? How can I even break through in this industry? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly why you can and how in this episode, so make sure you stick around. But first, obviously, the intro music.
Welcome to the Smart Passive Income Podcast, where it's all about working hard now so you can sit back and reap the benefits later.
And now your host. He wants a time machine, not to go back into time, but to slow it down because his kids are growing too fast. Pat Flynn.
While DIY website tools are everywhere, most fall short on design and performance. Hit publish. Framer ships your site worldwide in seconds. No code, no compromises. Framer is a powerful, user-friendly platform that delivers developer-level results without writing a single line of code. Make your designs move and convert with Framer. Framer brings your site to life with powerful animations, dynamic content handling, and a design-first approach that helps your site stand out. Framer is the design-first, no-code website builder that lets anyone ship a production-ready site in minutes. Browse hundreds of pixel-perfect templates or even design something of your own on a totally blank canvas. Add bold animations like appear effects, text effects, scroll and looping animations, and much more in seconds. And it's free to start. The built-in AI handles the heavy lifting of generating starter layouts and can even translate your entire site to any language. On the back end, you'll get responsive breakpoints, built-in hosting, a flexible CMS, and privacy-friendly analytics. Ready to build a site that looks hand-coded without hiring a developer? Launch your site for free at Framer.com and use code SPI to get your first month of pro on the house. That's Framer.com, promo code SPI. Framer.com, promo code SPI. Rules and restrictions may apply. Hiring shouldn't be a hassle or a drain on your budget. Upwork is your one-stop shop to find, hire, and pay top freelance talent, saving you time and keeping costs in check all in one place. Companies at every stage turn to Upwork to get things done and find more flexibility in the way that they staff key projects and initiatives by assessing a global marketplace filled with top talent in IT, web development, AI, design, administration support, marketing, and more. And I've personally used them myself and can vouch for them. Posting a job on Upwork is easy. With no cost to join, you can register, browse freelancer profiles, get help drafting a job post, or even book a consultation. From there, you connect with freelancers that get you and can easily hire them to take your business to the next level. Upwork makes the entire process easier, simpler, and more affordable with industry-low fees. Post a job today and hire tomorrow with Upwork. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That is Upwork.com to post your job for free and connect with top talent ready to help your business grow. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com. Go there now. Hey, what's up? Pat here. Thank you so much for listening in. If you haven't listened to the show before, this is the Smart Passive Income Podcast where I teach you how to build an online business that will work for you. Now, it does take some work, but I'm going to tell you the things that you need to know so that you can set things up to build an amazing future for yourself. As I like to say, I'm here to help you make more money, save more time, and help more people too. Because really, that's how it all happens. The more people you serve and the better you serve them, the more rewards will come your way. So we're going to talk about today what the benefits are of being small or just getting started. Whenever I talk to a lot of students, especially beginners who are just starting out, I ask them a lot of questions like, okay, so you know you need to get started. I've given you the steps, but you haven't done it yet. Tell me why. And the responses are always very similar. They're either, I just don't have enough time, which is very common. And the response to that one is, okay, I get it. There's a lot of things happening in your life and it's hard to fit another thing in. But like Gary Vee always says, stop watching Lost, which the show nowadays is not Lost. Maybe it's stop playing Fortnite or whatever. But anyway, you can make time. And if it becomes a priority for you, you will do it. So in your mind, you have to make what it is that you're attempting to do a priority. B, you have to understand that you are going to fail. You're going to make mistakes, and that's a part of the process. An entrepreneur never gets it right on the first try. Part of entrepreneurship is trying things out and failing so that they can understand exactly what they need to do next. And then number 3, realizing that you have an advantage by just starting now, even in a very competitive space. And as I always like to say, the riches are in the niches. Or niches, but that doesn't rhyme as well. So the riches are in the niches, and the more niche you go, the easier a lot of this process is for you. And that's why whenever I have people go, Pat, I want to start a website about just fitness, or I want to start a website that helps people build online businesses. Those are so big now, and if you were to try to tap into those spaces in general, you're going to have a hard time because you're not going to have a focus, something that people can go, oh, that's my guy or that's my girl, and here's why. They're going to go, oh, well, it talks a little bit about this, it talks a little bit about that. I want something that's for me. Now, I remember when I first started online, there was a story that was told to me about shoe stores, and I want to give credit to Jason and Jeremy from Internet Business Mastery. This is a story that they told me that has forever stuck in my head, and I want to pass it forward to you, and that's a story of shoe stores. If you go to the mall and you pay attention to all the different kinds of shoe stores that are there, you're going to notice, at least in the US where we buy a lot of things and there's a lot of stores and malls all around, there's all different kinds of shoe stores for different specialties. There's the walking shoe company, there's the Crocs place, there's the athlete's foot, there's the basketball shoe store, there's the casual and sort of hipster millennial shoe store. There's one for, people who go clubbing out at night with the 4-inch heels kind of shoe store. There's shoe stores specifically for people who like to run. If you were somebody who was a runner, who was looking to, for example, run your first 5K or run a half marathon, if you will, which would you rather go to get the right advice and the right shoes? Would you rather go to a Walmart or a Target or a Payless shoe stores or Shoe Pavilion where they're going to have running shoes, but they're going to have all kinds of other shoes too? Or would you rather go to a shoe store where it is specifically for runners of all different kinds, where you can talk to people who will know exactly what you're going through? You want to become that specialty shoe store in your space. And yes, you are weeding out a lot of the people that you could potentially serve by going more niche, right? Because the more narrow you get, the less, sizable your audience becomes. But the better you are able to serve them, thus the better your results will be. And in this episode, I'm going to give you 5 different advantages that you have by being small. Things that, like, for example, with my brand, Smart Passive Income now, I couldn't possibly do some of these things anymore because I've grown so big. And there are people who are starting now who are using a lot of these tactics in all kinds of industries that are generally considered to be very, very competitive, but doing it in a way very niche, sub-niche, subtopics in those spaces and becoming the go-to person. That's really what it's all about. I mean, you hear Chris Ducker talk about this all the time, like becoming the go-to person in your space. Could you potentially become the go-to person in personal development right now? Probably not, because there are so many people doing that right now. You cannot be the next Tony Robbins right now. And yes, you can work your way up to that and you can build to that. But if you're just starting out and you want to be the next Tony Robbins, you cannot do that. You have to be a Tony Robbins for a specific subset of people who have a specific need related to personal development. So perhaps it's specifically people who are, and I'm just spitballing here, people who want to get into meditation because they are parents and they just need to breathe a little bit during the day to get that energy back to take care of their kids. So you're going to become the go-to person for parents who want to learn how to meditate. So that would tell me that you're going to have to learn how to fit in meditation into certain times of your day. You're going to have to understand what to meditate about so that you can become a better, more focused parent. And that subset of people have a specific subset of needs and problems and pains that now you, as the person who is going to become the go-to person for that, you will be able to write better emails, have better subject lines that tune into exactly what those specific groups of people are saying. You'll be able to sell better products. You'll be able to connect with different people. You'll also be able to use that specialty to your advantage when it comes to competitors. So right now, what I want you to do is, if you haven't already, just, in your head, go, okay, I'm going to commit to this episode. I'm going to put that phone in my pocket or what have you, and take these 5 advantages that you have by being small. Let's start with number 1. And number 1 is that you can enter a market and create something different because you're coming in late. Because you're coming in late, a lot of people say, oh, I'm too late to come into this space. But no, you actually have an advantage because you can create what I like to call your market map. Now, you can't create a map of things that don't exist yet. And that's why trying to create something completely brand new that has never been done before is very difficult because there's no lay of the land. It's uncharted territory. However, if you are flying over into a brand new space where you know that there are some cities over here and some towns and there's a river over here, you can understand where the best landing spots might be because it's already populated. Because it's populated, you can understand and see things that even those people who are down there in that city or in those towns, they cannot see themselves. And to cross over back into reality from the analogy, what I mean is because businesses exist in that space already, you're able to utilize what's there to find a position that works for you. You're able to make a map of the market. And so here's how you do that. If you've read my book, Will It Fly, I teach this in Will It Fly, but I'm going to give you a quick overview about how to do this right now. So if you're getting into a brand new space, or perhaps you're in there already and you're kind of struggling, what I would recommend doing is creating an Excel file or a spreadsheet like on Google Sheets or something, or perhaps you even want to do this by hand, although I'd recommend by computer just because it's easier to input what you're going to include here. And that is 4 columns. These are the 4 Ps. P number 1, or the first column, is the places. The places where your target audience, that target market exists. And this is the general market, by the way. Especially if you're trying to find what your sub niche is going to be. If you already have a space or a subtopic that is in a bigger general industry, you can find out if you're in the right spot. So either way, this exercise is going to work for you. What you want to do is create your list of places where your target audience exists. Websites, online, offline, conferences, meetups, events that people go to, what publications do they read, those kinds of things. The next P are the people, the influencers in that space who have already earned the trust of that particular audience. And then the third and second to final P are the products. Making a list of all the products in addition to, how much they're paying for them and what those products are. That's going to give you a good lay of the land of like, okay, here's where they are and here's who they listen to, and also here are the things that they kind of buy. And then from there, you can kind of see the lay of the land, and this gives you an idea of what the fourth P will be for you, and that's your position in the space. And you can see where the pockets are, where there's maybe some places that are being underserved a little bit, or hey, there's a lot of people talking about this, but nobody's really giving them the information that they need. Maybe that's a space that I can get into, or that's where I can, make my, put my stake in the ground and become that go-to person. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I don't want to pigeon my hole. I'm going to leave that in here because that's kind of weird and funny. I don't want to pigeonhole myself into a sub-niche and just be known for that little thing. And I get it, right? I get it. You don't want to be small and just become known for that. You have bigger plans, you have bigger ambitions, and that's okay. But I'm telling you, you need to start small, and then you can expand from there. The riches are in the niches, and you can expand after you kind of conquer that mini market and then grow into a bigger market. So going back to that prior example of the meditation and the parents, perhaps after that you expand into helping kids meditate too. I'm just kind of spitballing here, like I said earlier. And maybe you get entire families involved, and maybe you help schools. Then you see now we're including more people, and then eventually you can become known as the meditation person because you started small, and that's where you became known, and that's how you started to get shared a lot within those communities, and then it became you can begin to expand from there. So anyway, going back to number one here, your advantage is you're able to, from a bird's eye perspective, see what's going on in the market, in the space that you're in, and find a landing spot for you, find a position for you, a subspace that needs some serving that you can go in there and become known for. So that's number one. And if you want more information about either validating an idea or determining your market map or some other exercises you can do along with that, I'd highly recommend checking out my book, Will It Fly? If you haven't already, I know several of you have read it or listened to it. It's available on Amazon and Audible and all the good places there. Links in the show notes, or you can go to willitflybook.com. There's also a free course that goes along with it that you'll see in the book as well. All right, number two, the second advantage you have by being small, and this is a big one. You can better connect with the audience that you have. Because there aren't many people there yet, you have the ability to connect with a higher percentage of them. And by connect, I mean literally have conversations with them, reply to their emails, reply to every single comment, reply to every single tweet or Instagram message, and even send your own direct messages to them to thank them, to ask them questions, to survey them, and what have you. You can do that. I cannot do that at this point. I get 500 emails a day, and it's overwhelming. I get that many social media tags every day as well. I couldn't possibly do this. This is your advantage against the big players, especially big brand names, where you become known as the person, and people would much rather gravitate toward you because they know you and you've interacted with them versus, faceless brand here. A good example of this is when I started helping people in the architecture industry, which was my start in online business and entrepreneurship in general with my site, greenexamacademy.com. Everything was going really well for a while. I was selling my ebook and a study guide, which then later turned into an audio guide as well. And I was making a low five-figure amount every single month. And then a giant ball just landed on me and crushed me. And this was the United States Green Building Council, which is the organization that actually wrote the exam that I was creating a study guide for. They came out with their own study guides. And I thought I was crushed. I mean, why would people buy a study guide from me. I didn't even get a perfect score on the exam. I'm just, I was just a 24, 25-year-old guy who was just trying to make things work and was just studying for this exam and sharing my notes. Why would people buy an exam guide and some practice exam questions from me versus the actual organization that creates the exams and the questions itself? I thought I was done for. That month that they came out with that guide was my record month. I'd sold more guides than ever, and I actually reached out to my audience and I had surveyed them afterwards because I just wanted to understand more about why they bought from me and not them. And the reasons were because they got to know me, because I did interact with them, because I had answered their questions in forums, because they saw my picture on my website. They much rather would buy from me, and they trusted me as somebody who was just like them in their shoes. And likely the target audience that you have is just a couple steps behind where you are in this journey that you're helping them through. They're going to better relate to you, and so you have that advantage over the big brands that are out there for sure. And going back to what I said earlier about forums and DMs, direct messages, you can leverage those so well when you're just starting out. I would challenge you is if you're just starting out, you should try to get to know the names of at least like 25 people. Like, get to know them, understand who they are and what their problems are, what their day is like. You should try to get to know 25 people in your audience at least at the start, and just kind of learn about them and get to know them and understand their psyche. This will give you so much good intel for how you can give back to them and obviously sell later on if you aren't already. So use that small size of yours to your advantage. You have yet to get bombarded with 500 emails a day, so use your time wisely now. All right, advantage number 3. You can have, as a result of this communication and the interactions that you're having with your smaller audience, you can have a much more targeted audience, which is something that will work to your benefit, especially when it comes with affiliate opportunities, with recommendations that you give them, or any relationships that you have with other companies, whether that's for sponsorship opportunities or affiliate opportunities, like we were just saying. Meaning, and there's an example I want to share with you. A student of mine, Dan, who is a member of the Smart from Scratch course, and also my affiliate marketing course, 123 Affiliate Marketing, he did something really smart. So he created a King Sumo giveaway. And I think that was episode 320 with Noah Kagan, where we had Noah come on and talk about the benefit of running these giveaways and having that be potentially something that you could leverage to get some involvement from other companies. And Dan did just that. He created a giveaway for his parent and baby website and was able to get a company to give him some swag and some gear to give away, and also is now getting help from that company. This company is actually now promoting a lot of his content because of this relationship that he had built. And it was through the fact that he had pitched that his audience, although small, was highly targeted. And it was because Dan is doing a good job of communicating with his audience, interacting with them. He's very engaged. And I would highly recommend that for you too. So do like Dan, connect with your audience, but also leverage that for these opportunities, which is, again, advantage number 3. You have this highly targeted audience. That is something that these bigger brands that want to get in front of audiences, they don't have access. They can't do that. This is why affiliate marketing is so powerful, and sponsorships and advertising. This is why these companies pay top dollar for that, because they could not possibly get the relationship that you can have with this audience of yours. And so even if your audience is 10 people strong or 100 people strong, what have you, get to know who those people are, have them become super fans of yours by giving them value, by sharing something with them that'll help them, and also asking them questions, letting them know that you're there, and leveraging that relationship so that you can get brands to give you things and give you deals and open up affiliate opportunities and give you access to things that they don't normally give access to others, because you have something that they don't have and something that they want, and that is that super targeted audience. So that's advantage number 3. Advantage number 4. This is the cool thing, and to start this, I want to give you another analogy. As you can tell, I love analogies. It's all over my book, Will It Fly, with the flying stuff. Well, this one I want to talk about climbing, but in a different way, and I want to talk about ladders. So if you imagine a ladder and you climb really, really high up that ladder and you look down, what happens? You get kind of scared, right? And you grip tighter. And, I use the ladder analogy when I was promoting my book, Let Go, because let's say that you climb to the top of a ladder and it's a beautiful view, but then you realize that like, wow, this isn't the ladder I want to be on the top of, which is how a lot of us live our lives, right? Like we work so hard and we climb the corporate ladder, if you want to use that word, or the life ladder, and you realize that you're just not happy up there. It's not the ladder that you want to be on. So you have to move from that ladder to the next. But because you've climbed so high, you feel like you're more committed to that ladder. You look down, you're scared, you grip tighter. In order to progress to the next ladder and start climbing that one, you either have to fall off and hit rock bottom, which I kind of felt like I did when I got let go and laid off. I got kind of pushed off the ladder I was on. Or you have to kind of grip the ladder that's next to you in this new opportunity that's there, and you have to let go eventually of the old ladder that you were on. And many people have, both hands and one leg on that new ladder, but they still have that other leg on just in case. You can't possibly climb if you have that leg dangling and just touching that other ladder. You have to fully let go in order to grow. So what I want you to imagine is that when you are starting a new business, that's like climbing a ladder. And when you're just starting out, I want you to imagine being just one rung up that ladder. You put a little bit of work into it, and you're only one rung up that ladder in your business. And then you get pushed off. Something happens, you fail, or something goes wrong. Do you fall so much that you hurt yourself when you land? No, you just step down because you've only gone up one rung. So what I'm talking about here is that you have an advantage because you're small, because you have the opportunity to experiment, to try things at very low risk. You haven't climbed high on that ladder yet. You can fall off and you will be completely fine. Because you're small, you have room for error. And guess what? Like I said earlier, entrepreneurship is full of errors. As long as you learn from those errors and move forward, so that will guide you. So climb a couple steps. If you haven't climbed yet, you got to start, right? So climb a couple steps, but realize that if you fall off, if you make mistakes, guess what? You haven't climbed that far yet. And so it's okay if you fall off because the ground is just right there. And then you can climb up and try again, or you can try a new ladder from there. You have an advantage when you're small because of that. So number 5 here. We're kind of breezing through these, which is okay. I want this to be, and this is obviously a solo episode, I want this to be one of those high impact episodes that I get messages about. Hit me up on Instagram or on Twitter at Pat Flynn and let me know, like, this pumped you up. Like, yes, you're small, you're just starting out. I want to know that this is pumping you up to finally get going and realizing that, yes, you actually have something that big brands don't, and that's new opportunities, new starts, room for error, ways to connect with your audience that they cannot. You have advantages being small. I want to hear it from you at Pat Flynn on Instagram or Twitter. Let me know that you heard this, episode 337. Just give me just some message that you heard this, because this pumps me up too. As you could tell, I have a lot of energy right now, and it's literally midnight right now. It's summer and the hours are weird. I just got back from vacation, but you know what? I'm up at the midnight hour right now, burning that oil for you, and I know I'm going to get it back in return in action from you. That's what I want from you. I want action. I don't want reviews. I don't want, like, hey, Pat, you're amazing. I want you to take action. So yes, you can leave me a message that this is pumping you up. But what I really want is for you to tell me that you are about to take some action that you hadn't taken before, because now you know you have something. You have something. Okay, anyway, that's the pep talk. And then number 5. Let's go number 5 here. Your superpower becomes a way for you to connect. So your niche, which should be treated like your superpower, right? And I'm going to give you an example. I interviewed a woman. Her name is Debbie. She was on a recent episode of Ask Pat. Actually, let me pull it up for you. I got my spreadsheet right here to keep track. She was featured in episode 1030 of Ask Pat. And she's a dog trainer. You can find her at meandmydogs.biz, unless she set up shop somewhere else based on our conversation. But that happened around a month ago. And Debbie is a dog trainer, and she specializes. And this is something I learned when we had our coaching call together, which is what I do on Ask Pat. And by the way, you should subscribe to that show if you haven't already. You can check it out. Just look up Ask Pat on iTunes or wherever you're listening to shows and subscribe, because they're legit coaching calls. I mean, people come in with problems and I work through and I coach them through a process. And with Debbie, she was like, struggling with taking her local business online. She wasn't feeling like she had the ability to do that because there are so many dog trainers online. But we honed in on a strategy for her, and that is to utilize her superpower, which is, in the dog training world, training super vicious dogs, like dogs that will bite your hand off if you try to pet them, like really bad dogs that, especially for anybody who might have a dog, like the number one thing you want is just like that dog to be okay and for people around you to be okay when they come visit you. I mean, it's just such a huge pain. So by her being known for that locally, we're going to take that online and have that be used as her competitive advantage, her unfair advantage, essentially. And now, if you imagine competitors, other dog trainers who have podcasts and blogs, who have these general audiences that are huge, now she can come in and become an asset for them to help deliver value that they can't do on their own, because Debbie has this specialty. So she can go to a podcast, a dog training podcast that is just like general dog training stuff, and she can become the special go-to person who is on a show to talk about what to do if your dog goes mad dog. And so she can become known as that person. And now a competitor isn't going to go, no, I don't want Debbie on my show, because she's going to take people away. But now they can go, wow, I want Debbie on my show because she has this knowledge that I don't have. And so definitely I want to talk with Debbie because I want to, as a podcast host, be able to provide that audience that I have, that knowledge that I cannot give. But also in doing this, I'm giving Debbie a nod, obviously, by having her on my show. But people in my audience who have vicious dogs, I want them to go to her because that's who's going to serve her better than I can with my general dog training tips. And so, as you can see, your superpower, your subtopic, your niche becomes your superpower and your competitive advantage, and it allows you to get in front of other audiences that you may not have been able to get in front of if you just had a general website. And so when you're at the start and you're like, okay, I'm small, but how do I get in front of these audiences? Well, go to bigger audiences and use that superpower of yours. Use that knowledge in that subtopic, or the fact that you're the go-to person. Have them want you to come on and find the people in their audience who can match up perfectly with you. And that's how you can grow. That's how you can get some really, really good exposure from these bigger brands that are out there. And to finish off, and hopefully you've been enjoying these tips, I want to cover them again one more time. Remember, the riches are in the niches. Number one, the first advantage, I have my little Post-it notes here. I don't know if you can hear that. You can create your market map and understand the position that you should have and how you can change what exists in a space better than what people who are in that space already do. Actually, a little side tip with that is if you're doing anything related to products on Amazon, or in the niche that you have, people are buying things on Amazon, go into Amazon and look at the reviews for those products. Those are gold mines of information for what people like in that space, what people don't like. Look at the 3-star ratings and look at the people who literally write, here's what I liked about this, but here's what I didn't like about this. Use that information to your advantage. And again, because you're coming in late to the game, you can use that to your advantage, and you will. Number 2, you can connect with your audience on a deeper level more. You can engage with them more than these bigger brands can on a more personal level. Interact with them. Send messages, direct messages even, and have them feel like you really care, because you do. Number 3, yes, you're going to have a smaller audience, but guess what? They're going to be more targeted, and as a result, advertisers, affiliates are going to be very attracted to that. Number 4, you have room to experiment. You have the ability to fail with very little risk. And number 5 is your niche, is your superpower. It's your competitive advantage. And to finish off, I want to give you a bonus tip. Tip number 6 here, if you will. And that's when you're starting out small, unlike bigger brands like mine and obviously many others out there, you don't need a huge team or any team at all. Maybe you do, depending on your niche and how you do what you do, or what time you have available. But anyway, there aren't going to be a ton of things that you need to spend on overhead. You can focus on delivering that value, connecting with the audience, and creating moments for them that'll help them become fans of you over time. And you have less things to worry about. So guess what? You're just starting out, sure. You have a huge advantage. So use it or lose it. Cool, guys. Thank you so much for listening in today. I appreciate you for sticking around, and we are at about the half-hour mark. And if you wanted to do one thing for me, beyond letting me know on Instagram or Twitter at Pat Flynn that you heard this and that this is pumping you up. Also, let me know what niche you're in. Like, I'd love to know what small sub-niche you're in a more general topic. I'd love to hear that from you. And make sure you listen in to next week's episode because we're going to be talking with somebody who will help you with your book marketing. We've talked about a lot about book marketing in the past, but nothing quite like what we're talking about in next week's episode. So make sure you subscribe and listen in. We got a good one because I know you have a book in you. Maybe you already have a book out there. Maybe you're thinking of creating one in the future. Well, you're going to want to make sure not just how to write it, but how to sell it, right? Because writing is hard, but it's all for nothing if you can't market it and promote it. And that's what we're going to talk about next week. Subscribe so you can get all that good stuff and everything else coming after that. If you want the show notes for this episode and everything we talked about in terms of links and whatnot, just head on over to smartpassiveincome.com/session337. Once again, that's smartpassiveincome.com/session337. And then finally, I just want to say, guys, take action. And even if you're a bigger brand, likely you could probably benefit from going back to the fundamentals, which this is really what it's all about, the fundamentals. And the big part of that is keeping it fun. Fun and fund. There's a lot of ways that I can chop up that word to make it relevant to business funds. Keeping it fun is how you get. Anyway, I'm done. Guys, take action. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the Smart Passive Income Podcast at www.smartpassiveincome.com.
Have you dreamt about being your own boss, but still haven't made the first steps to making that dream a reality? Well, I get that. Starting a business can feel super overwhelming with legal forms, paperwork, finances. It's a lot. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about Taylor Brands. Taylor is a complete business builder designed to make launching your business simple and stress-free. You can register your LLC in just minutes, keeping your personal assets and the business assets separate from day one. From there, you get access to everything you need to get off the ground. Legal documents, licenses and permits, invoicing and bookkeeping tools, and even a 100-day business coaching program, all designed to help you hit the ground running. You'll also get a free, personalized business plan, branding tools, and so much more. And of course, listeners of this show get an exclusive 35% discount to get started. All you have to do is head to taylorbrands.com/SPI. That's TAILORBRANDS.com/SPI. Stop dreaming, start building with Taylor Brands. Hey, fellow podcaster, does this sound like something you've experienced? Record your podcast episode on one platform, download the files, edit in another app, then fire up a different tool just to create these social clips. Well, it can be clunky, time-consuming, and frankly overwhelming, especially for creators trying to grow. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about Riverside. Riverside is the all-in-one platform. Record, edit, and repurpose your podcast content all in one place. You just log in, record with your guests no matter where you are in the world, and just like that, studio-quality audio and high-resolution video. We use Riverside here at SPI as well now. With built-in AI, I can automatically clean up my audio, saving myself so much editing time, and it can even auto-generate clips to make promoting the show a breeze. And with Magic Clips, I can grab the best moments and repurpose them as short-form video, perfect for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, or Instagram, without re-recording a thing. So if you're tired of juggling tools and want a faster, simpler way to create and scale your content, it's time to try Riverside, built by creators for creators. Just go to smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside and use code SMART to get 1 month free on the Pro plan. That's smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside, promo code SMART.